In this video, I'll share with you some of the trades that I've got stopped out of, and I'll share what I actually did thereafter. If I remember, some of these trades I didn't re-enter, but most of them I did re-enter. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because oftentimes in trading, you always see the positive. Everybody talks about taking a loss and getting out of trades, right? But I don't think there's enough emphasis on the downside and obviously what to do thereafter, right? The other thing is I'm seeing a lot of people that have made calls, and I was saying, and this is the time to buy altcoins because the alt market is starting to move now. Bitcoin's still trying to figure out what it wants to do, but the time to buy some of the altcoins was 2 to 3 weeks ago. That was really the time to buy. When everybody's getting excited, when things are starting to move, that's really when you should start thinking about, where do I take my profits? How much more room does this have to go? And it could be months. This isn't something that could just, it could not be, it could be on some things it could be turning now. It depends on your time frame and your trading style, obviously, okay? So that's the other thing, is that a lot of people that are claiming that their calls are starting to make the targets. Look, I live pretty close to a zoo, a couple miles. I could have snuck out one night, like I have to sneak out of my house, but I could have snuck out one night and went and stole a monkey from the zoo, put up a dartboard of altcoins, and basically just threw darts all night and said that, hey, I just created this really awesome new indicator. It's going to be spot on. You just got to get into these things, and in a couple weeks, you'll see that this new indicator is awesome. All right. Now, I don't know what I would have done with the monkey after that, but let's just say that I did that. I'd be looking pretty smart now because just about everything's moving. Okay. So anybody that's out there saying that, hey, I called this, my targets are hitting, you'll see here as we go through every chart, everything's moving. All right. So that's pretty easy to call something like that when things are at a bottom and everybody else is starting to look very bearish and thinking that the market's never going to turn, everything else like that. Okay. What I'm going to share with you in this video is what I did, why I put stops, and why I trade this way. I know some people don't trade with stops, and I think in the crypto market that's something that you can almost get away with, but I think that's going to turn here. Plus, I like to trade with stops because I can always enter at a lower position, or maybe I was completely wrong on something. Okay, and you'll see that here as well. So let's just jump in. I'm just going to start going through positions and just share like where I entered, what I was thinking. Hopefully this will help. The tool that I use for stop losses is linked down below. It's this tool here. So it allows you to do trailing stops and all types of stuff. It's a really good tool. I recommend it quite a bit. That link is an affiliate link as well. So let's go to the first one, which was TNB. Okay. Now I'm looking at 4-hour time frames here. And actually, I'm still in this trade. Yeah. Okay. So here's on TNB. So on TNB, this consolidation phase, what I considered a consolidation phase, I did enter a trade and I did not get stopped out of this. Okay. So I put the stop loss at, this is a longer term trade. So I put it right around 8% and did not get stopped out. Okay. So, but where I did get stopped out is here. Okay. Which is on, typically on breakouts or winning trades, I'm adding to positions if I think that there's still strength in an asset. And I did add to this position here. I was looking at this here, this trend line, a weak trend line, obviously. And I was, I actually entered right here. And I thought there would be strength that would come into the market, but if it didn't, then I did put a stop loss here, right at this range here. So I gave it room to actually kick in to support here, and I got stopped out right here. Okay, on that position. So that was about a 7.5% stop loss. Got stopped out there. All right. Still had this position here. I could have got a little bit more quote unquote aggressive with this position, because what did I have? Well, I had a position here that was up already 45%, right? And I could have said, well, with this position, I'll give it a lot more room, and I'll kind of dollar cost average this position in, and I wouldn't have put a 15% stop loss. I would have put a 10% stop loss, but I would have been out anyways, right? So I just looked at this support level and I thought if it broke this support range here, right, which would be more like this, if it broke this support range, then there's still a downside. And that's what happened. And then I looked at it as another consolidation phase here and re-entered a position, okay? And now in that position, we're currently up 19% or so, and we're still up in this position as well, okay? So I stopped out of this, re-entered with the same amount as this position as well. So re-entered the same type of position at this level as I did here, all right? So that's what TMB. And once again, you might say, well, look, it turned around. Well, yeah, but I didn't know that. You can't predict the future with these things. I trade my system, okay? I trade a system that I believe in, a style that I believe in, a style that I developed. My style includes stop losses and having certain rules for where I put stop losses, and getting out of a trade and then re-looking at a chart a day or two after I've been stopped out of a trade. I never enter a trade the next day that I've been stopped out of a trade. I always give it time to just kind of work out, or sometimes it does completely turn around, right? But I never enter a trade after I've been stopped out. You'll see that this trade was entered here. I gave it a couple days to reach consolidation, and you'll see here it's starting to move. Once again, my monkey indicator did really good, you know, throwing darts. Actually, this would be the monkey indicator. So my monkey indicator that I created did really good. We're up 45% right now. He did really good. We haven't taken profit on this yet. So he did really good. Now let's go to GVT. GVT is something that I trade quite a bit, actually. So something we kind of dollar cost average in. But I was just recently stopped out of this trade. All right. So I see this as a consolidation period. And I thought that this is a good kind of run up here, or a good retracement here. And I put the stop loss right around 5%. And on this little dip down, got stopped out. Okay. So once again, I'm in that waiting period. On this retracement, I might re-enter this position. Now you might say, why wasn't your stop loss at, because if you've watched another video that I'll link down below of what I set for stops, it's usually 4 to 5%. It's 2 to 3% for quick confirmation, and then it's 4 to 10%, right, in that range. Well, I've seen this chart act weird sometimes, like do these type of drops, right? And if it did this type of drop, this is heavy manipulation here, okay? This is manipulation down. So this chart sometimes is heavily manipulated with a sell wall. So I've seen that quite a bit on GVT. So that's why I put the stops here tighter on GVT. And on this retracement, be looking to enter probably right around here, most likely. It all depends on what happens here, what happens with Bitcoin, what happens in the market here over the next day or so, okay? TRX. This was I was scalping this. So this was a scalp trade, okay? And I scalped this here, this position here, thinking that there would be a retracement back up here to the upside, and there was not a retracement back. So it did not reach it didn't even reach my entry. I misread, obviously, this run up, and I was out of that position right around 2.6% or so. So it was a scalp. I just wanted to include a scalp here because I do scalp. I don't use the tool to actually exit out on scalps, but as soon as I saw this going against me, I got out of this position. Now, what if I didn't? Okay, this is why I included this, though. All right, what if I didn't? Well, where would I be right now? I would be 15% down on that position if I didn't exit out of that position, right? The second that I saw that I was completely wrong, I got out of the position as soon as I could, and I got out at about 2.6% to the downside, all right? So that's why I bring this one up, but that's why I share this one, because if I would have stayed in this position, hold, right? I've got the emblem on my car that says hold. Got the license plate as well, right? If I would have had that, I'd be down 15 or 16, 17% right now. All right. Let's look at QLC, and I only have one more after this, so I could go on, but I just want to kind of make this a shorter video, but also just share some of these tips here. So this is another one. On the 1 hour, it looks a little bit different. Now on QLC, this is actually the strategy that I share in another video that I'll link down below as well, which is don't try to be right. And this here, QLC, might be starting to make its move, where you basically enter positions with a 5% stop loss and after consolidation of a new exchange. So that's what I did here, right? Thought this was good consolidation in this range, so entered on this actual retracement here, okay? This retracement here, and it went down and hit my stop at 5%. Day later, as it moved up, right, entered another position on this retracement because it closed at a higher, it closed at this support level. At this, I looked at this here as support level, as some support. And then this whole consolidation range, right? In this whole consolidation range, I saw a support. So I entered a position, and then in this position, I actually put a 8% stop loss. So I gave it plenty of room because for me, this is the longer term position, and we're still in this position, only up 7.4%. So might add to this position if I see strength. QLC, I got to do a little bit more research of what QLC is, but that's might enter this position on a breakout. Okay, so got stopped out of here, have not got stopped out of here. So let's look at RPX. RPX is, where did I get stopped out of RPX? Oh, way over there. Okay, this is you're supposed to end with a high, aren't you? Well, I'm ending with a low because this trade was probably the worst trade I've made in this year. I think this is the worst trade I've made this year. And it's because I wasn't following my rules, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't have this in the trade diary, so I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking that there was support here, okay? I have no idea what I was thinking. Usually I'm pretty good at doing a trade diary and writing down what I was thinking and why I took a trade. I have no idea what I was thinking here. I think what I was thinking, right, is that when I looked at the chart and I did some analysis, that this run-up looked like it was something that would stick. And I did not put a stop loss in on this trade for some reason. So I'm down on this trade, what is that percent? 50%. It's pretty painful, isn't it? So this is a prime example why on the previous chart I showed you the strategy where you want a asset when it hits a new exchange to get consolidation. Well, this RPX has not reached consolidation yet. As we go forward, it looks like it might be possibly reaching consolidation. Probably in this range was consolidation. But look at that rundown here, and I'm still in this position. I have not exited this position yet. I'm just going to hold it. So I am a true holder. I need to go get the t-shirt. But you'll see here, what does it have to do for me to even get back to my actual profit level? It has to go up 90% from this level. Now this is crypto. It can very well do that. But this is a prime example why I stop out of trades right here. This is the worst trade I've done this year. It's why I trade with stop losses, because you just don't know. If you don't trade with if I would have traded with stop losses and been out, like let's say I did my more aggressive 10%, right? I'd be out right here, and look at this. I'd have an opportunity, right? Obviously, if I would have kept buying in this range, I probably would have learned after a while, right? That, hey, I'm getting stopped out. There's still downside here, right? But I would have at least been able to then buy maybe back at this point, and I'd still be, I don't know. I've scalped RPX a couple times, but beyond that, I'm not looking at it as a long-term play here, just because the way it's moved, okay? But it seems to be pretty solid in this level. But this is a prime example why I do stop losses. The worst trade I've done this year is down 50%. And it's I would have liked to go back and exit this at 10%. Just for whatever reason, I didn't put in a stop loss. I don't know why. Like I said, once again, this is why you should keep a trade journal, because then you can go back and you can say, what was I thinking? Why did I enter this position? What rule that I created, my trading plan, was I following when I entered this position? And I don't have that. So I think this is just one of those things where I was aggressively trading, and I just did not write down the trade, and I didn't put in a stop, and I probably just, something happened, I got distracted, and I just moved on to something else, right? So you should, in your trading plan, not allow these things to happen, okay? This should never happen. And that's, I'm telling myself that, obviously, but this should never happen. You should never be down 50% on a position. You should just not let it get to that level. There's no reason to that, because let's say that you do put a 10% stop loss in. Okay, yeah, it sucks losing money, right? It sucks losing 50% even more, right? And then as it goes down, well, if you really like this thing, you can buy it. You can buy it, right? But you're at least buying it with more capital than I have here, and I've got a long wait to even see some profit in this thing. And then if I do, of course, I don't think this way, but human psychology would be like, well, geez, I missed this whole move. So some people will be tempted to actually enter here. I've done nothing on this position except scalp it. Okay? I have a rule where I don't add to a major losing trade. If I'm down 5%, I might add to a trade to dollar cost average into that if I feel like the support is kicked in. But on this trade, I will scalp this position and be in and out quick, but I will not add a long-term position to this trade. Okay? Some people will say, though, well, if you add it here, you're dollar cost averaging. That's a complete wrong way to look at it. I'm not adding to this trade. I'm not adding any long-term positions to RPX. So that's, I don't know, that's my trading style. That's my trading rule. I think it's probably a smart way to go. But that's all. That's all in this video, actually. So I wanted to cover, oftentimes I'm sharing the positive. I'm sharing, hey, look at this cool thing I'm trading, or look at the trade results that I have on this, or look at these, this cool trade, right? I wanted to share more of the reality of the downside that is part of trading. This is part of trading. Giving capital back, having drawdowns, that is part of trading. I don't know any trader that does not have a drawdown. I don't know any successful trader, I should say, that doesn't have a drawdown. I don't know any successful trader that does not take a loss. If you're not taking any losses, and well, I don't know how you could not be taking any losses. So that's all for this video. Once again, you'll find links to various tools I use down below, access to the Discord group. All you have to do is click and join, and a document on the primer of trading cryptos. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.